What up, YouTube? Before you come back to the video, 713 Space City, we in the building. Alright, so week 16 is here. Another week. And the Raiders are coming to town this week. I know the Raiders are pretty bad, but another game that the Texans gotta definitely handle business consistent. And while I talk about it, I want to go over the injury report real quick. Knowing that some key players are questionable, and that Cesar Shire is one of them, along with Derek Stingley, Woody Marks, which I'd rest him along with Stingley. And on Justin Watson, who's also questionable, and along with Nick Chubb, Jake Hansen. I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't mind seeing some backups play, Jawar Jordan. And let's look at the Raiders. One player questionable and one player is out, so yeah, they'll have Geno Smith in. So, not to mention, like I just mentioned, the Raiders are a bad team, but even so, this is a team that the Texans should not overlook and look past if it means, staying locked in this playoff hunt. Because the last thing they want is get caught lacking, because as the saying goes, teams with nothing to play for can always be dangerous, especially when they can, play spoiler. So, yeah, I'm rooting for the Broncos to handle business against the Jags. But, if you want to move ahead in the division, handle business versus Las Vegas. So, some backups I wouldn't mind seeing is, Jawar Jordan, Jalen Noel, the safety depth. Darrell Taylor, if he plays, and Jamal Hill. Those who I would like to see in action and would like to keep an eye on. And Nick Caley needs to consistently utilize Jalen Noel more effectively. Yeah, he's been good on special teams, but in the offense, he needs to utilize them a lot better. Along with Jaden Higgins. And the defense, I'm gonna start with the defense, Yeah, I'll admit, they were hit and miss, but just gotta regroup and bounce back, and handle business once again like the number one defense. And it all starts, winning in the trenches, scoring in the red zone consistently. And of course you want to, rack up some sacks. Since they think they racked up 2 as a team, but you want to rack up more than last week, like at least 3 at a minimum as a team. And of course, want to see Sheldon Rankins, players outside of Will Manderson and Daniel Hunter recording sacks, such as, example, Sheldon Rankins, or even the linebackers. And also, I wouldn't mind seeing, Miles Bryant, step up in his secondary, because no telling when Jimmy Ward is going to play for sure. And even if Jalen Reed does come back at some point, still gonna have to address the safety position in this upcoming offseason. But yeah, Miles Bryant, want to see him step up. Of course, win in the trenches, score red zone points, you know, get off the field early and often for the defense. And of course, force turnovers, force Geno Smith into some tough throws and making mistakes because he has been prone to turning the ball over for sure. So, but like I always say, you can't take the Raiders lightly at all. I mean, yeah, they're down bad, but you can't take them lightly. So, gotta take them serious for 4 quarters. Pressure Geno Smith, slow down Ashton Genty, limit him, and also, can't overlook Tyler Lockett. Want to lock him down too, along with Brock Bowers, who's a dog, by the way. Another good tight end that they got to limit. I mean, yeah, Trey McBride pretty much cooked the Texans secondary, but got to do a better job of containing the tight end and Brock Bowers. Keep the ball out of his hands, forcing other players to step up. If they can do that, hey, should have no problem being more efficient than last week. And avoiding costly penalties too. As far as the offense, gotta neutralize, Max Crosby. I mean, he is a dog. I mean, I know some of the Raiders players are, a few other Raiders players are pretty solid, but Max Crosby, he is a dog in that defense. The whole Raiders defense who can get after the quarterback. So on the right or left side, gotta neutralize him. Won't be easy, but O-line gotta do their job effectively and establish the running game early and often. I mean, offense just gotta get off to a strong start once again. They put up 40. I mean, it may not be guaranteed that they put up another 40 burger, but offense just got to keep rolling and improving. Especially the offensive line. And of course, you want to improve the red zone scoring too, which I keep an eye on the most. So avoid quick 3 and outs. Win the time of possession. Keep the Raiders on their heels. If it means wearing them out physically and mentally for sure. And Stroud just got to keep growing and doing his thing since he's shown signs of getting back to the Stroud of 23 in his rookie campaign. And mistake-free football is really key. Discipline. Characteristically disciplined for sure on all phases of the ball. Along with points off turnovers, that would also be great. I mean, even with this winning streak, this Texans team has little to no room for error, let alone bad losses. Because bad loss to this Raiders team, could mess up their momentum they've been carrying with this winning streak. So, not looking down on them, not taking them lightly, but if they take them serious, they should have no trouble winning this game. Before the other 2 games, gonna be pretty challenging. But let's take care of business this week versus the Raiders, and Houston's gonna be rocking their battle reds once again. Which it would be nice if they could wear their battle reds with their white pants, but hey, all red it is. Last time they wore all red, they sacked Josh Allen 8 times. So, yeah. Defense got to get after the quarterback, consistently and create some good sacks. I say 3 at a minimum, but 5 or more would be great as a team. Along with forcing at least 2 turnovers, 2 or 3 turnovers, I would like to see the defense do. Back to being the efficient defense that I'm used to seeing. Because what I learned, even good defenses have their share of ups and downs. So yeah, let's go Texans and handle business once again in the battle on Battle Red Sunday. So LTH checking on the podcast. Go Texans. Let's keep the wins coming.